Hey, Mike Callahan. Wanted to make a quick video. Had a question submitted on Callahan's Corner last week of what should you do, or what are the skill sets you need to look for when going to hire someone to run or manage your service business. Well, I've had the pleasure of hiring several individuals to actually run my company, Callahan's Lawn Care. And in my mastermind groups and different people I've networked with, we've had very similar discussions. But there is a few key commonalities that I would highly recommend looking at before you go out to hire an individual to either manage or run your business, whether you're still hands-on as a business owner for the day-to-day, or if you're looking for somebody to actually run the business. There's one or two major things, and I'm going to go over the 4 or 5 main things that I would highly recommend that I was lucky enough to get right, or some of the things we actually got wrong when we went to go hire for this position multiple times. But the first thing that you really want to look at is the person going to run your business or manage your business been there to the next level? So let's say we are at $1 million or maybe 1.2 million in sales. Has that person seen the playbook for 1.75 or 2 million? Because it's a significantly different playbook at 2 million versus a business at 1 million. So do they know what the playbook looks like? Do they have the experience? So we definitely want to make sure that they've been at least one level above where they're going to be in your business, so they know what that roadmap looks like for success. So the first thing you want to look at is, does he or she have the playbook and the experience for the next level, so they know where they're going and what the process and system should look like inside the business, be able to scale to that next level. So you want to hire at least one stage above the existing stage you're in. The next thing is hiring. And this is probably one of the most important things outside of having them for the playbook experience to where your business is going. But hiring is the biggest issue right now, bottleneck in all service businesses, and it was even before labor issues. So what I'm going to suggest is, if you're looking to find a gentleman or lady to run your service business, they need to know how to hire. Now, if they don't have experience of hiring on a regular basis in their previous job for a certain position that's similar to the ones you have, you are going to be in massive, massive trouble. And I'm going to suggest that this new individual managing or running your business should be spending 20% of their time. So 20% of the time should literally be going out and hiring people. And even if we don't need people, we're building that virtual bench that we always talk about. So they're going out and interviewing for all the positions in the business. And I'm going to say 20% of their time should be spent on labor and hiring and interviewing. So a rough rule of thumb is they should be going out and having 6 interviews a week. So that means they should be having a little more than 1 interview a day per week. So 6 interviews a week, at least a minimum of 1 interview per day, as that breaks out on average. Now, they may be chunking their schedule out and blocking it, but on average, they should be running 20% of their time in hiring, and it's going to be going out to networking events and different things like that. Not just the interview process, but going out and building that virtual bench, creating relationships through dealers and networking and other business owners. But we should be doing at least 1 interview a day, potentially 6 interviews a week. So around 20% of that managers or business person running your business time should really be focused on building that virtual bench and going out and hiring. So where this gets ugly is if the individual you hire doesn't have experience. So once again, that next level of business. So like if you're at $1 million, maybe they've run a $2 million a year company. They've seen that playbook. They know how to go out and hire A players. Now, the individual that you've hired to run your business is most likely, I'm hoping, an A player. But the problem is A players don't always typically hire A players. Because if A players that are running, the A player that's running your business or managing your business doesn't have the experience and understand how to go out and interview and find cultural and values alignment, and making sure, very similar like Jim Collins is good to great. We want to make sure we got the right people on the right seats on the bus. What you'll find is, even if you take an A player and 20% of the time is going out and recruiting hopefully A applicants for your business, what you're going to find is if they don't know how to hire, they're going to start going out and hiring the wrong individuals. And if they need to get bodies in the door, a lot of times if they don't know how to hire and they don't have that skill set, they're going to start bringing in B and C players. And what that's going to do is literally bring down the quality level and the culture in your business, because your A players are going to have to, that you already have on your team, are going to start feeling animosity because they have to cover the B and C players to continue the quality of work and the production that you're putting on them. So first thing is we want to go out and find somebody who's been where your company's going, so they have that playbook and they understand and can see the hurdles and different fires that are popping up in growth, because they've been there and they've seen them and they've broken through them, so they know how to handle them. But alongside that, just as important, is they need to know how to hire, and they need to have had previous experience of going in and hiring A players and not just running through the motions to put bodies in the field of hiring those B and C players. And I think this could be very, very detrimental. It can set you back a year or two in the progression of your business. So not only is it enough that they have that industry experience and the person running the business is an A player, but do they know how to go out and recruit and interview and hire additional A players that line up with your culture and your mission and vision and values? So what I would say is, if you're going in to hire this new individual that's running the business, it's not only enough to make sure that they're a good cultural fit, they align with the strategic vision of your business, but you need to go out and talk to other people they've worked with through a referral network of people they've hired and people that they've worked with around their hiring process, to actually see if they actually have the skill set to actually go out and hire A players. And like I said, this will be the quickest thing. It can set you back 12 months, 24 months. If this person comes in and just haphazardly starts hiring the wrong people. So we need to go out and make sure that 20% of this new manager's time or business, whatever the position is running the business, 20% of their time is going out and recruiting and finding A players. And we need to do some due diligence to make sure they know how to hire A players and they have a track record of bringing in A players. And that will continue to evolve the business along quality standards and production and reinforce what the team you already have. Because if you start adding B and C players, your A team players literally will get disenfranchised and leave your business. And then you've got an issue. Now, the next thing is, does this new manager actually know how to manage? Do they know how to handle people? A lot of times in the service industry, especially, you've got certain people that you need to talk to one individual in a certain way to coach them up and train with them and evolve, get them to evolve in your corporation. And then on another individual, we may have to handle completely different, but it's how they intake feedback and how we interact with them based on their personality and how they actually learn. So some of the people, when you interact with them, like, you can be very straightforward and completely blunt and like, hey, you screwed this up. Let's work on together and fix it. And this is how you fix it. Other people, you may have to go in and really take constructive criticism and take it to a whole different level, because if you're too upfront with this, that they will shut down and they won't take the information. So can this guy or girl that you hired to manage your business actually manage and be able to pivot based on the person and have a relationship with them, and not alienate people on your team through flexible management styles, what we're looking at. And then the final thing around people skills is they need to be relatable. They need to be able to go out and hopefully do most of the jobs and be able to model them. And where I'm going with this is very similar to the autobiography of Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's. Is he was in his mid to late 80s. And that autobiography, one of the younger guys or girls on the hamburger line on the grill basically took a shot at Dave and said, well, it can't be done that fast and this, that, the other. So this guy in his mid 80s pulled up this apron, pulled out a spatula and stood there right with his crew of, early 20-year-olds, and he ran circles around him so he could model the behavior. So not only could he talk about it and explain it, but he could model it in a production that was acceptable and with a quality constraint. And then the real cool thing there is, if they can do that, the full package is, do they know how to train the trainer? So a lot of times we have A players on our field teams. So whether it's lawn care or home cleaning, they can go out and mow the grass and trim the grass and blow it. Or in cleaning, they can do a top to bottom deluxe. But to actually take that skill set and model it and train it is a completely different skill set. So you may have somebody who can actually do it and perform the work, but can they actually break it down and be constructive and positive and teach the actual skills themselves. So the final perfect thing, in my opinion, is this manager running your business is, can they go out and train the trainer? And maybe in some smaller organizations, they are the trainer. So can they be the trainer? And then can they, once you evolve into that level, can they train the trainer and hold that trainer accountable? So as we're breaking it down, we're going out to find someone to run the business, either the day-to-day or you're becoming an absentee owner as the business owner. So the first thing we want to do is the person running the business day-to-day needs to know what the next level looks like. They got to have that experience so they know that playbook, because that playbook from $500,000 to $1 million is completely different. And that playbook from $1 million to maybe $2 million is completely different as well. So we want to be able to see what are the hurdles, what are the obstacles of running that size of a business. So as they evolve up in your business, at that point, they've already seen it, they understand it. We want to be sure they can go out and hire. And not only can they hire, but they know how to hire A players. They have a track record that we could track. They should be spending approximately 20% of their job is going out in the hiring process. So whether it's networking, recruiting, refining the hiring skills, but we need to go out and double check that they have a track record of hiring A players and then not bringing those B and C players in just to fill the gaps when we need bodies. And that's going to really, if they bring the B's and C's in, that's going to just de-escalate the culture and everything else you got going in your business, because let's face it, A players are going to rise to the occasion and fill the gaps for a B or C player on that crew and do the extra work. But at some point, it's going to burn them out. And they're going to get disfranchised and either stop caring or just leave your business completely. So we want to make sure that new person run the business knows how to get an A player in there, and they have a track record of hiring A players. So we need to go out and do our due diligence before we hire this individual. We can't jump to that. They know how to manage. They know how to interact with different personalities to bring them up and coach them up through your strategic plans and your mission, vision, values. They have people skills. They can interact, and they know how to train people or train the trainer depending on the size of the business. So knowing where you're going, they've been there, they got the playbook, hiring skills, management, people skills, and be able to train. Those are the core things I look at when I go to hire someone to run my service business. So comments or questions, drop them below. But very, very important topic. I'm glad somebody asked that question. Callahan's Corner. You ask the questions, we answer them live right here on Facebook. We'll see you again tomorrow.